on moving forward with the appropriations from one account to another, basically, so we can pay our bills
Right.
for the rest of this year.
Yep. Okay, so I brought my buckets back. I know you guys are all excited about it. So I'm going to talk to you guys about education funding and additional appropriations. First thing, the biggest thing I need you to know is that the budget, it doesn't run like during our school year. Our fiscal budget is from January 1 of 2025 to December 31st of 2025. So all of the budget, and I have a whole folder there, but that runs from January 1 to December 1, just like it's a calendar year. I have to say, I appreciate Darla and Kendra for listening to me have many, many conversations about budget, and they're answering questions, and they're helping me learn, and they're showing me forms, and then we shred them, and then we get new ones, and then so all of these things are important, and I want people to know that we are being good stewards of taxpayer dollars, and that is a big deal. So in October, I think it might have been October, right? That I did the bucket.
I think you did.
So we have 4 buckets that we draw money from. And each bucket has a different reason, like operations, things that we need to do for like our maintenance guys, HVAC, moving, mowing, contracts, and things like that. That all comes out of operations. There's lots of things, buses, bus repairs, ceiling tiles, lights, all kinds of stuff, door locks, things that you don't think of. Actually, the superintendent's office pay, like my pay, Darla's pay, Tim's pay, that also comes out of office. Okay? Rainy day is exactly what it is. It's our rainy day. It's our savings account. That's where we put money to save. The next budget that we talk about is debt service. And this is our bond money, which we have right now, that we have not spent any of. But the bond money comes out of this debt service. So the education fund and the additional appropriations, this is the bucket we're talking about. This is the only bucket we're talking about. And the things that can come out of this bucket, the only things that can come out of this bucket are professional services. And right now, one of the big ones we have is speech. We pay for virtual speech because we do not have a speech pathologist on campus speech. And full transparency, it costs us $90 an hour. Okay. Staff training comes out of this bucket. And our teachers do PD, go to PD, when we go to SIUC and have our teachers learn things and then bring it back here, that comes out of professional service. So that comes out of education. Any professional learning that goes back into the classroom, it comes out of that bucket. All teacher salaries, teacher assistant salaries, school office staff salaries, coaches, counselors, all of those salaries come out of this bucket. Also, with their salaries, anybody who has benefits, health insurance, vision insurance, dental insurance, disability insurance, life insurance, 401A, and VIVA, that comes out. We pay a portion of that. Okay, our district pays a portion of each of those things, and it comes out of this education bucket right here. And then all buildings, middle, high, and elementary, the supplies, all of the classroom supplies, all the office supplies, all the curriculum, all the software comes out of this bucket. So if we're going to buy classroom materials, we're going to buy textbooks, this says teacher salaries, all of that comes out of this education bucket. This is the bucket that we are talking about right here. This bucket only. Okay. So I'm giving you a little bit of history here. This is our expenditures for 2024 out of this bucket. All of these things, the salary, the benefits, professional services, supplies, including curriculum, dues and software, transfers, and I'll talk to you about transfers in just a second, and services. So all of that, the expenses in 2024 was $5,779,657.86. Those are the expenditures. In 2025, like we just got our 2026 appropriations, what that means is this is what is allotted to us from the state. And these are our appropriations, what we've said we will spend in each of these budgets. In 2025, the salary appropriation was $3,925,505. In the benefits, we appropriated $1,269,163. In professional services, this is a big one. We appropriated, meaning that we, like, how when you do your home budget, and this is how the best way I can explain this. When you do your home budget, okay, and you say during professional services, we feel like when we're doing car payments in our home budget or whatever you're going to do. But your professional service, like if you have a cleaning lady or something, you can put that in your professional services. But we said we're only going to put $14,000 in there. Our supplies, this is including curriculum. We allotted $136,622. We purchased K-8 language arts materials and 6, 7, and 8 math materials this year. Okay? Dues and software, that's Matthew's department. We have to pay certain things and we have to pay for certain software. And then our services, we had $106,000 there. Okay, that's what we budgeted. Like if this is our household budget. Over here, this is what we expended or we spent. $3,965,660.50 in salaries. Benefits, $1,277,307.58. Here's a big one. Look at this. We budgeted $14,000. We actually spent $188,286.19 in services. Curriculum's another one. You see this right here, $136,000. This is what we spent, $266,291.99. This is from January 1. This is not from July 1. This is from January 1 to December 31st. That's what we have spent. Dues and software, $2,648.10. This transfer, notice there's transfers here and here. Think of it like at your house. You basically sometimes transfer money to another account, maybe a CD account or a savings account. This transfer right here, we're allowed to transfer 15% of the money we get from our state funding into operations. And this number is what we transferred this year in 2025 from our education to our operations. One of the big reasons we do that, or are doing it right now and being very conscious of it, is because when Senate Bill 1 rolls out, one of the accounts is going to get hit hard is our operations. And we want to make sure that we have funding in that operations department to do the things we need to do. Okay? And then our services, we spent $44,639.99. That number might look really low to you because that's your RoboTime. So this was reimbursed. But it is still counted as an expense because it was in our expenditure. So our total expenditures is $6,540,690.05. So if you think of it as like your savings account, what we're asking with this additional appropriation is, unlike you, when we want to move money from one account to another, we have to get permission. So we have money in our education fund, over $3 million, and we need to move some of that money over to our education. We have to move it to where we can expend it. So that's what the additional appropriation means. We want to move money from our savings to our checking so that we can pay for some of these things. Well, we need to pay for all of these things. That is in a nutshell of what the education adding additional appropriations means. You guys have any questions?
We appropriated, we asked for 850.
We asked for 850 because it was recommended that we go high because you can only do it one time. So we asked for 850, but right here, this is where we, Kendra, if I ask her one more time, she might not give it to me. But this is where we believe we're going to be. So we're going to be less than what we asked for. We believe that our salary, benefits, professional services, supplies, software is going to cost us $527,298.22. This is what we still have to pay once we move that money from our basically I'll quote it, our savings to our checking. But we work with a consultant who is wonderfully amazing. He answers my calls anytime I call him. But he always suggests that we go a little high on our estimates because to make sure we only asked once, and we wanted to make sure.
And this is for this calendar year.
This calendar
January,
year.
December.
Yes. Starting on Thursday, we start our 2026 budget.
So, question:
Yes,
Do you transfer the 850 or the 527?
we're gonna transfer the 527.
With the opportunity, if something happened and we had to transfer the rest, we've already been given
Permission.
permission to do so.
Yes,
So that the remainder is still set there.
if we need it. Yeah. If some expense comes out of the woodwork, sometimes you get those bills like mid-January for December, but we still have that money out there, but we won't use it. And here's the thing is, everybody in this room is holding us accountable to make sure we're spending the right way. And I appreciate that. The thing is if you have questions, my door is open and you can call me or stop by. I love to talk about this stuff. I love to talk about curriculum. I'm here for school. I'm here for kids. I'm here for this community. So I'm open for conversations. Please don't hesitate. I love it. It's great practice for me. I'm far from, I don't have all the answers, but I know people who do, and I will get them.
So when, this is kind of maybe a dumb question, but when will we know? I think we were given an amount earlier, a possible estimate of what the state changes to taxes and things are going to be.
Right.
Will we have a definite on that does that happen like in January, in July? We have to wait till the
legislative session is over before we have definite information related to that.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, we're not going to see a lot in 2026. It's 2027, 2028 when we're going to see a lot. Each year it's going to get a little more difficult. And that's not just Shoals, Indiana. That is the state of Indiana and every school district, and not even just the school district. It's the towns, your fire, your police, your library, all of it is going to be affected. So we have to work together to make sure that we're doing everything possible as a team to make sure our future generation has what they need to be successful. Bottom line, we all have to come together and work.
And enrollment dictates a high percentage of all that.
Yes, our enrollment dictates a high percentage of what we get from our state funding. And our enrollment, the last I checked, was 575. Last school year was 597, or somewhere in that ballpark.
And we have another count date coming up in February.
February is our next count date.
And that's kind of across the board throughout the area schools. Correct?
Everywhere.
The drop.
The whole state. Yeah, across the whole state. So looking, because the next question is, well, what are you going to do next year? So what we have done is we're already looking ahead. We have a gentleman, his name is Chad Blacklock. When we met to talk about our teacher contracts, our attorney suggested that we do financial forecasting with this gentleman, his name is Chad Blacklock. And he's going to take all of our data and he's going to give us projections and outlooks. He's gathering the data based on our gateway budget information from 2019 to the end of this year. I also have Dr. Dykstra. She's completing a special education program and staffing evaluation to ensure that we're providing exceptional services to our students. So we're looking at that. making sure we're doing the right thing for kids in our special ed area. We are looking and working with a preschool person who's helping us with our compliance, but she's also going to give us some input, and we're going to have conversation around preschool. Full transparency, we do not receive state funding for preschool, but it is probably our biggest investment in a school setting is investing in our early childhood education. But across the state, there's been a lot of cuts when it comes to helping pay for childcare or preschool for kids. For example, we have this, it's called On My Way Pre-K, and there were vouchers, and there are no vouchers in 2026. So that's the tricky part about preschool. So we're going to be looking at our preschool. We're also going to look at our projected budget numbers based on 2026 budget. We just got this 1782 notice. Our approved amount for state funds only is $5,756,634. We just received that amount right before the holiday break. So we're already starting to look at those numbers.
It looks like we got less approved for 26 than we had in 24.
Yes, because of enrollment. Because enrollment in 2024 was quite a bit higher. Does anybody have any questions? We did not approve the bond in May.
Well, no, the board approved your head, didn't approve the bond.
They approved to explore the bond.
That's all we did at
did
that
not-
point in time.
Okay, so how did you go from that to this? It makes no sense to people who outside looking in, how we can be told that we're in good shape. We can even do this $9.4 million bond. Now, all of a sudden, with $1 million bond, no one in public knows what's going to do for you.
We could have issued the bond. We could have went for the bond. We could have done that, but it wouldn't have been being good stewards at that point in time.
Explain how people like the bill, you can add billions of dollars and you do in classrooms. They're expanding their footprint. Why would we be?
How do you think that would happen? I mean, I would think that the taxpayers
Yeah.
are going to be involved in that.
They raised the taxes.
We tried to keep our tax.
We
levy
tried to
low.
We've
keep
not
ours
raised
down.
taxes in this school district in the whole time that I've been on the board.
Mhm.
Not any. Exactly right.
We plan to, right? Like,
The protection that people are getting, like the last quarter was the CPE.
Yeah.
That $9.4 million bond was going to be expanded for the program.
Correct.
But it got
Push back.
pushed back. And so the protection that people get in the public is, well, why aren't those programs up and working?
We've not abandoned that option. But like I said, we're being good stewards over money. We just got granted $1 million bond that's going to take care of some of our facilities that we're looking to improve. Take care of part of the FEMA classrooms out here for that $1 million.
25% of that is
Is ours to pay
Yeah.
out here. That has to come out of our pocket. So we're going to use that $1 million bond to pay part of that. Then we've got a couple other projects that we're looking at for that $1 million. And we've already discussed this next year, looking at the CTE expansion again, but we had to set a bond to maintain the debt service tax rate.
I think one thing to keep in mind that may not have been discussed in any kind of public meeting, we had a feasibility study conducted on the whole facility, right? That was the basis of the $9.4 million bond that we were looking to move in that direction. Kind of last minute, there were some things that came up. We didn't have confidence in that feasibility study anymore. So we didn't think that it was in the best interest of the community or the school to let that bond, because we didn't think the numbers we were getting were accurate, right? So we don't want to ask for 9.4 and need more. for something like CT. So that was a driver for pushing this back here. And then that million, like Drexel said, that gets us by this year to keep our service rate where it's at. And then we are going to revisit that in next year's bond. I mean, it was a year delay.
And not only maybe it would have been more, but we were thinking too that some of the projects that we looked at and the expenses they had down for some of the projects that we thought was way high.
They were basing it. They weren't basing it on
the 9.4. We took a hard look at that, and that's where we decided let's do this. We're trying to tell you why and what happened, but that's not off the burner by any means. I mean, she covered that in the last board meeting, I think, about the expansion and moving forward with our CTE and some other things. But no, none of that stuff is going away. The expansions are still going to be a topic of discussion moving forward this year. But I think what Sue said up front, that we want to be good stewards of our money, your money, my money, all of our money, to do the best for the kids, what they need, but do it at a reasonable level and accountable. We want to be held accountable at a reasonable level of monetary value here. You're not telling us anything we don't know. But
well, as far as my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the welding booth, and I appreciate the effort you put into getting those down here. I think we only have 2 or 3 drops for welders in that small caged in area back there, right? So in order for us to be able to expand that, is for something like the CT facility. So that's why it's not being used right now. We don't have where to put it. Don't have the drops. Don't have the electrical services in place. So there's that, and that goes with the culinary too. We were just talking about this before the meeting. We have the means to do so, but we have to make sure that we're adequately planning so that we do it right the first time, right? Like Rex was saying.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
Because we're going to.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
It's
Honestly,
coming. It's just coming in.
thank you.
reasonable amounts.
Thank you for that.
There was some high, overrated, inflated costs, and the board didn't have confidence in them. And we kind of, between that and they were kind of trying to rush us.
There was overhead cost involved in there that we did not want to pay because it was a waste of our money. We shouldn't have to pay someone for that. Well, it was kind of in the small print there, so everything had to be looked at again
And we
by
were-
the right people.
And like she said, we were being pushed a little bit by the people that did the study, and it just didn't work out with that group. That was the bond we're under right
It's in
now.
phases.
That was the bond we're under right now. It's not going away, and we know we need room. I mean, we're not oblivious to the fact that we've not expanded this school any since whenever that gym was put in. I don't even remember when that was at this point in time. We all get that. We all know we need room. But at
And
the same
safety
time,
entrances is another that was another big topic of conversation.
what was that?
Safe, secure entrance.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot to consider, and there was a lot that went into that. Well, I don't think we are. I think we're ahead in a lot of areas to be. Well, I think you don't expand the footprint just to say you expand the footprint. I think there's got to be a need, and there's got to be a want for it, and there's got to be buy-in to finance it. Quite frankly.
It's really good conversation. I feel like it's good conversation that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to hear you say that you're
That
willing to
conversation,
pay the tax.
fully transparent, is starting in February. Like those conversations, like we have to be thinking forward always. And so we.
Yep. I think main takeaway there, though, understand a lot of that stuff doesn't happen as far as the discussions that took place for us reducing that bond amount. Doesn't happen where everybody's going to hear it. So we're happy to explain it. I think main takeaway from this though is that it's still a very important topic of discussion for us, and we have to make a next step on the next bond appropriation anyway. It's like that's item number one for us.
Then we got to look at everything that she just went through, because what she said, it doesn't make sense. Well, it doesn't make sense a lot too, that if we're in debt in certain areas, we don't want to make matters worse. We got to be frugal and smart and good stewards with the money to make sure we're getting the best bang for our buck, and we're not overdoing it just to expand the footprint. Okay.
I'm just going to wait for what she has to say. She's been working on this already. We've had lots of conversations. Just don't forget, I'm a special ed teacher. That is my first, I mean, I'm just asking. Yeah. No, I'm just asking. We are here to be, and I will say, get 100%. We have excellent teachers. We have excellent staff. Well, this is just to see how can we support them differently. What does it look like? And she's going to give us guidance. This hasn't been done in a while, and she's going to kind of give us, a speech pathology would be great to define a couple of those. That's a big deal.
That would be huge.
That's huge because that is really, it is state mandated. Yes, at least one.
Exactly right.
Much.
Exactly right.
It breaks my heart.
It would save
You
money.
get a better product as well. But in all fairness, we have a lot of students in that program that really I feel like needs to be looked at, not to remove if necessary, but the numbers are just large. It just seems odd. You know what I mean? We need a real person to kind of look at those.
The school up there,
I don't know.
The
well, when I was
It's
when I was-
Vocational, but he's talking about the hearing.
when I was here the
Oh, I don't
first
know.
Oh, I don't know about that,
what's the name of the school that's
but it wasn't just the beach.
no, there was a little school just on by you turn right there by our
Yes. Yeah.
There was a little school back there for the high needs kiddos.
But I don't think that was specific to speech. I think that was more of a special education needs.
The lady didn't like when I said that. Well,
Anything in person beats virtual any day of the week.
we are heavily looking for. Thank you for the questions and the conversation.
Okay, anybody have anything else?
Nope.
All right. We need a motion to approve additional appropriations of the funds.
All motion.
Ethan, second.
I'll second.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, if nothing further, we are adjourned.